Happy Halloween, everyone! It's your casual gamer Meep here, and welcome back to the channel. For those of you who don't know me, I've been playing Dead by Daylight since around December of 2017, and one of the first killers I made was Michael Myers. Since it's the channel's first Halloween, I put together 5 builds that take advantage of Michael's versatile gameplay using his various add-ons. These builds vary in lethality, usefulness, lore, and overall fun. All 5 have a purpose and can be really fun to use overall. The first build is the All-Knowing Myers. It features the Scratch Mirror add-on that keeps us undetectable in Tier 1 Evil Within for the entire duration of the trial, but allows Michael to see survivors up to 32 meters away whenever he goes to stalk from his location, hence All-Knowing. And it also features the Boyfriend Memo, which slightly increases our lunge in Tier 1. The perks for this build include Whispers, Make Your Choice, Deadlock, and Hex No One Escapes Death. Whispers activates when a survivor is within 32 meters of our location, which is the same range as the Scratch Mirror, so it can more or less save us time from stalking to find survivors throughout the trial whenever it's not activated. Make Your Choice increases our deadliness by exposing survivors whenever they unhook someone and we're more than 32 meters away from their location, which is just outside of the Scratch Mirror's aura reading capability. The person who's affected by Make Your Choice will also scream upon unhooking the survivor, so in case we're super far away, such as on the other side of the map, we'll know which survivor did it, and so we can find them later on using the Scratch Mirror to sneak up on them for an insta-down. Deadlock is to slow the game down by blocking the generator with the most amount of progress on it for up to 30 seconds after a generator has been completed. It's like middle of the game Corruptor Intervention, but on generators that could be on the verge of completion. Plus, with the generators highlighted in white while blocked with Deadlock, it can help us find survivors waiting out the effects of Deadlock, and can lead to us pressuring multiple survivors away from those areas. Hex No One Escapes Death activates once the last generator is powered, or the in-game collapse is triggered, as long as there is a dual totem still remaining on the map. We'll gain a much-needed speed boost of 4%, and all the survivors will suffer from the exposed status effect. This adds a much-needed lethality to Myers, as with the Scratch Mirror, you don't have access to the exposed status effect with Evil Within Tier 3, and you'll get it at a critical point of the game, which is at the very end of it. This build is meant for indoor maps, or maps with lots of line-of-sight blockers, as it's meant to scare survivors, keep them on edge, while maintaining some aspects of lethality and slow down effectively. The next build I call is Too Close for Comfort, and uses Myers' other mirror add-on, the Vanity Mirror. This one allows us to get to Tier 2 Evil Within, and while stalking we can see the aura of survivors within 16 meters of our location. In this build it is paired with the Dead Rabbit, which has 2 effects. In this build it is used to decrease our 16 meter tear radius in Tier 2 by 25%, or 4 meters, meaning we'll have a 12 meter tear radius the majority of the trial. This build uses the perks Monitor and Abuse, Save the Best for Last, Barbecue and Chili, and Corruptor Intervention. Monitor and Abuse increases our tear radius while on chase by 8 meters. Otherwise outside of chase, it decreases our tear radius by 8 meters, and increases our field of view by 10 degrees. With the Dead Rabbit and Monitor and Abuse outside of chase, our tear radius goes from 16 meters down to 4 meters, which is less than a second of walking time for a killer. This combination almost makes us undetectable, which can allow us to sneak up on survivors and possibly pull them off generators or get free hits. Save the Best for Last makes it to where each time we hit a survivor who's not the obsession, we gain a token, up to 8 max. Each token decreases our successful attack cooldown by 5%, so up to 40% max. Without the exposed status effect from the Evil Within Tier 3, this perk can help end chases quicker by decreasing the amount of time each cooldown takes, which means the survivors make less distance after being hit. Just try not to hit the obsession too many times, as you'll lose tokens each time you do. Barbecue and Chili allows us to see survivor auras when they're more than 40 meters away from when we hook a survivor, and in addition it awards bonus blood points at the end of the game. In this build, however, it's mainly used to find the general area of survivors once we hook a survivor, and so we can move towards their location and use the Vanity Mirror to find their exact location, keep applying pressure. Corruptor Intervention blocks the 3 furthest generators from our spawn location at the start of the trial. This is mainly to slow down survivors in the beginning of the game, while we stalk to get to Tier 2 so we can use the Vanity Mirror's effect. This way, the survivors will move towards us on the map so we can catch them out in the open so we can get out of Tier 1 faster. This build is best used in close quarters while chasing survivors, and on indoor maps where losing line of sight with survivors works to our advantage. Build number 3 is what I like to call the Slug and Chug build. It features the Fragrant Tuft of Hair, which upon reaching Tier 3 Evil Within, will allow us to remain in Tier 3 for the rest of the game. This is also combined with the Dead Rabbit, which has its secondary effect. While in Tier 3, it increases our default tear radius of 32 meters by 25%, or by 8 meters, and so we'll have a 40 meter tear radius for the majority of the game. The perks for this build include Monitor and Abuse, Infectious Fright, Knockout, and Hex Ruin. In this build, Monitor and Abuse is used to increase our tear radius while in chase by 8 meters. When we get to Tier 3, our tear radius while in chase, and with the Dead Rabbit add-on, our tear radius will be a massive 48 meters wide. Outside of chase in Tier 3, it'll mitigate the effects of the Dead Rabbit by taking our massive 40 meter tear radius back down to 32 meters, so we can get closer to survivors. Infectious Fright will synergize well with our increased tear radius because whenever we go to down survivor, all other survivors who are inside our tear radius will scream, revealing their location to us. This is when the snowball effect begins because as we reach tier 3, we can start slugging survivors and go after the next survivor with the information that Infectious Fright gives us. Going from one survivor to the next will become like a freight train of deadliness and pressure, hence the slug and chug effect. As for knockout, because Myers is a pure M1 killer, all of his attacks are considered basic, and so whenever he goes to down a survivor, their aura will be hidden to all survivors who are more than 16 meters away from their location. This helps waste the survivors' time trying to find their teammates and adds more pressure to their overall situation. With Infectious Fright, we can leave the survivors on the ground and feel confident going after another one. In a way, it's to slow them down and hinder their progress. Hex Rune, which causes generators to regress by 200% when survivors stop working on them before completion, is to slow the game down in the beginning because survivors will tend to spawn near generators, and as we make our way around the map patrolling the gens, because when we go to stalk the survivors, they'll run away as we build up our power, Hex Rune will reverse their progress, giving us time to reach Evil Within tier 3 before too many generators are completed. Overall, this build is meant to slug all 4 survivors by making it harder for them to hide from our presence and hinder them from recovering from their situation. Build number 4 I call Save the Best for Last, which is inspired by Michael's teachable of the same name. The other perks include Dying Light, which is another Myers teachable, No Way Out, and Rancor. With this build, the add-ons don't particularly matter, although you can use the Memorial Flower and Mirror Shard as their nice quality of life add-ons to use. The Memorial Flower allows us to stalk everyone 11% faster, and the Mirror Shard reveals survivor auras for 5 seconds whenever we go to stalk them for 1 second while in Evil Within tier 2. The focus of this build is to ignore the obsession till the very end of the game to where they are the most vulnerable. Save the Best for Last functions the same way as in previous builds by rewarding us for attacking all the survivors who are not the obsession, by giving us a stackable cooldown to all of our successful attacks over time, and it punishes us for attacking the survivor before the game has reached its climax at the end. Dying Light rewards us with a token each time we hook a survivor who's not the obsession. Each token decreases repairing, healing, and sabotaging speeds by up to 3% per token for all survivors who are not the obsession. The obsession, meanwhile, gains a 33% increase to their unhooking and healing speeds, but is overall unaffected by the action debuffs. This, coupled with Save the Best for Last, only increases our effectiveness against the survivors who are not the obsession by slowing them down progress-wise. No Way Out makes it to where whenever a survivor goes to touch the exit gate switches at the end of the game, we get a notification and the exit gate switches are blocked for up to 12 seconds. For each different survivor we hook, an additional 12 seconds is added to the timer, meaning if we hook everyone at least once, the exit gate switches will be blocked for a full minute. This will make it so any remaining survivors, including the obsession, are locked into the trial and can't escape, while letting us know where they are and when they go for the exit gate switches. Rancor is the last perk, and each time a generator is completed, we see all survivors on the map, and the obsession sees our aura for up to 3 seconds. Once all the generators are completed, however, the obsession suffers from the exposed status effect, and if we down them at the end of the game, thanks to Rancor, we can mori them even if they haven't been hooked. Ideally, they are the last survivor, and hence the build comes full circle, hence saving the best for last. The last build is what I like to call Everyone is Laurie Strode, and uses the perk Nemesis, Enduring, Spirit Fury, and Pop Goes the Weasel. The add-ons for this build include the Judith's Journal and the J. Myers Memorial. Judith's Journal allows us to stalk the obsession, meaning Laurie, who is Michael's obsession, 40% faster, and the J. Myers Memorial allows us to stalk everyone 25% faster. Nemesis is what makes this build work more or less, because whenever a survivor goes to palace stun us or blind us, they become our new obsession. The perk goes on a cooldown for up to 60 seconds afterwards, but can allow us to change the obsession throughout the trial in a practical manner. With our add-ons, it'll allow us to stalk the recently changed obsession 65% faster, almost an instant stalk whenever stalking at close range. Being able to repeat this cycle is what makes this build function effectively. Enduring is here because it will reduce our palace stun duration by up to 50%, which will allow us to recover faster after Nemesis has changed our obsession, so that we can stalk our new obsession even faster. Because we have Enduring, it allows us to play more aggressively at pallet loops, and it allows us to ignore pallets, especially when Nemesis is on cooldown. After we break 2 pallets, however, the next time we are stunned by a pallet, Spirit Fury will cause the pallet to instantly break. Combined with Enduring, it allows us to recover from the pallet stun almost instantaneously, with the obstacle of the pallet being removed altogether. Pop Goes the Weasel will reward us for hooking survivors, as each time we hook a survivor for up to 45 seconds, the next generator we go to kick will regress by up to 25%. We'll be able to down survivors quickly by stalking our multiple obsessions throughout the trial, thanks to our add-ons, and Pop Goes the Weasel will reward us for our efforts. This build is overall meant to capitalize on the obsession mechanic by cycling through the various obsessions to fuel our power of Evil Within. And with that, we've come to the end of the video. If you enjoyed the video, consider leaving a like and subscribing to the channel for more content. Let me know down below in the comments section what your favorite build was. Also, tell me what your builds are if you play Michael Myers yourself. And with that being said, I'm me+3, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye for now.